I look at it now, it's a good thing, because that's more resources that I have to go to. So thank you all so much. They tell me my time is up. I am grateful to be able to be here. That ain't what she said though. But I understand the cue. I understand the cue, you all. And hoping that we have a good time and make sure any question that you ask, it's not a dumb question. So don't be afraid to ask questions and get out there and get it in. All right.
That's my older person, y'all, so I love her. Because I for sure didn't say that because I was going to spank him. My name is Elise Edwards, everybody. I just wanted to 100% thank everybody who is here. And I wanted to say that we will continue to do events like this. It is part of the year-long safety plan that we have after we are our own medicine. We want to make sure that we give youth an opportunity to use their voice. So we're going to continue to create platforms where they can go forward and they can increase themselves with, we're empowering them. And so with that being, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to let them do their show. And I'm going to hand the mics over here to our guests. Thank you so much for coming.
One.
Alright, y'all can hear me good? Yeah. Alright, I need y'all to be real active in this conversation. If y'all don't, I'm not gonna like it, okay? Alright, panelists, we're just gonna ask that y'all keep all of your answers to each question about 2 or 3 minutes. We already behind schedule, so we got this? We got this.
Yes, sir.
Alright, if you guys can go ahead by starting off, introducing yourselves and give us a basic overview of your role, alright?
My name is Ramon Ocasio. I am a justice of the Illinois Public Court First District, which means that if you lose that trial, you have the right to appeal, and if you have the right to appeal, I'm going to hear your case and try to give you a second chance.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tamara Richardson. I serve as the Deputy Inspector General for Public Safety. The Inspector General is Deborah Witzberg. The Office of Inspector General is an oversight agency. We are nonpartisan, meaning we are not affiliated or associated with any political party. We are independent. We do work at our own discretion. And the public safety section specifically was created by City Council after the murder of Laquan McDonald, and we focus on oversight, ensuring the effectiveness, accountability, and transparency for the Chicago Police Department and the police accountability agencies, to include COPA, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, Bureau of Internal Affairs, which is within CPD, the Police Board, and the Community Commission for Public Safety and Accountability. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daryl August. I am a Cook County prosecutor, assistant state's attorney in the Juvenile Justice Bureau, specifically in juvenile delinquency. I am a trial supervisor where I handle cases that include homicides all the way to misdemeanors that involve minors. I also supervise a team of assistant state's attorneys that are junior attorneys that are just involved in their day-to-day operations. I'm under Kim Fox, who's the elected official who is the state's attorney in Cook County, and I work for her.
How y'all doing tonight? Great. Okay, all right. So I gotta apologize first and foremost. I'm Emmanuel Andre, and I'm not from Chicago. I'm from the East Coast, over in Harlem. So for some of you, I might hold that against you. But with that said, I am really lucky and blessed to be here. I am here on the strength of my own ancestors and those that came before us. I am an attorney by trade, and I became an attorney. Hopefully, if you ever, quick show of hands, anybody ever heard of the Central Park jogger case? Oh yeah. Wow, couple people. So if you haven't, go home, Google it. I think there was a Netflix series on it. But that's in large part why I'm here and how I got here. In terms of how I ended up wanting to go to law school and change what that looks like. With that said, my day-to-day, I'm a defense attorney by trade, so me and this young brother right here are usually on opposite ends of the spectrum, arguing before a brilliant mind, brilliant justice like that to be able to advocate. So I'm the person that people call, young folks call when unfortunately, when we're in the middle of a tough journey. Now, through that space right now, I'm with the Cook County Public Defender's Office, Sharon Mitchell. That is an appointed position, and it is actually appointed by the President of the Board of Commissioners, is Tony Petco. So that's who I work with right now. So really excited to be here, really excited to get into this conversation.
So generally speaking, I like counted today at work, there are at least 9 different ways by which you can report misconduct against a Chicago Police Department member. And I will note that you can, on the street, say that you would like to file a complaint, but you don't have to. These are things that can be handled in other ways. I'm going to tell you the 9 other ways. One is you can go into any of the 22 police districts. They are required to write down your allegations and pass that along to COPA, the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. And then that brings us to the next way, through the Civilian Office of Police Accountability. There are 4 different ways that you can report misconduct to them. You can go in person, you can go to their website and report it that way. You can call them, what. To IG at igchicago.org. Again, the number 2 is a number. You can also send us mail. And you can't come visit us in person, but you can go to our website, igchicago.org, and you can submit a complaint through the information portal. And because I am the public safety deputy over the public safety section, that means that every complaint that comes in through our office, even though we notify COPA each and every week, we go through and we go look at each and every complaint. So I personally see all of those complaints. And of course, if you end up in court and you have a public defender or your own attorney, there are certain matters that they can deal with either through a motion to suppress or other reasons as well.
Unless you got like another way or two to report that.
I'll be really quick on it.
You good, you good.
I heard the west side, the gang signs coming up that way and everything else. No, I want to acknowledge the importance of that question about reporting, especially going back to, I think some of the things that the old woman said in terms of us being able to speak in our voice and be able to be heard. Actually, I want to pour my own self out. With all these great ways to report things, about 8, 7 years ago, maybe, I was in the middle of a trial, a very serious trial, jury trial. So I'm by myself, I was a private attorney there. And I go to my alley at like 5 in the morning. That's when I do my best work. I go to throw out some trash. I had my favorite hoodie on. I had a hat on. It was a New York Navy hat, y'all, sorry. I had my hat on. Then I got stopped by 2 detectives. I was throwing out the trash. They stopped me, and it was right behind my place. And I was really upset, beyond. They stopped me, kept questioning me. And I tried my best not to tell them I'm an attorney and what they're doing is wrong. When the interaction was all over, and I knew all of these ways to be able to report that, there was something about that that made me uncomfortable. Because for me, I realized there was a system that just stopped me, then now I was going to report it back to another system. So I want to say that to say, beyond, we're lucky to have the people in place right now, the leaders that we have right now, how phenomenal they are. But beyond that, just the importance as you look around, beyond that, to be able to make sure we're spreading the word even within our own communities, because that's how that change happens. So people like me who are too embarrassed or whatever, they're too busy for the court to be able to report what we see wrong, and we've been done wrong.
One of the things that I do as a prosecutor is review cases for their entirety, for the facts and the evidence that's presented. One of the things that I make sure I look for as a prosecutor is to make sure that all the rights of the accused are being handled correctly. As a prosecutor, I do not represent just the people who are victims. I represent everybody, including the person on the other side. If I see a violation, it is my duty, it is my sworn duty to uphold that person's rights. Not only their rights to an attorney, not only their rights to their Miranda rights, but also their rights with the judge officer, making sure that they know what their rights are in court, advising the judges these are the minor's rights. So my job is not only to look at the evidence and point to somebody getting accused, but making sure that if their rights are violated, that we handle the case appropriately to see what is the outcome, whether it be either A, as she said before, suppressing evidence or outright dismissing a case because it can't go forward because the rights are violated. So that's what we do in the prosecution.
One of the things that I want to add to this conversation is the way this manifests itself in the courtroom is an officer will set up what's called a contextual stop. What that means is that the officer may find a legal reason to stop the motor vehicle that's driving on the west, south side of Humboldt Park, and use that as a fishing expedition to see if other crimes have been committed. And that's one of the reasons that I haven't had it. If when my headlights are out, or tail lights, or brake lights, I'm prepared immediately because I, as a judge, have been stopped by police. And the first question they asked, or they said that they asked me when I was calling, they said the situation was, why did you stop me when we had the siren right light, and why did we pull over? And I told the officer, because I didn't think it was me who was trying to stop. And the next question he asked is, do you have a weapon? I'm like, yeah, in my humble opinion, that's a question that's inappropriate for a traffic stop. And what happens is that oftentimes you will hear officers testify that they smell marijuana in the car. Or when they say, what's that on your center console? Remind us that it's okay, we search your vehicle. And oftentimes, citizens sometimes consent and sometimes they don't consent, but police keep after them to try to identify if there's some other reason for stopping and for charging with an offense. That's one of the reasons that the safety attorney under Ken Fox made a policy decision that she's going to look at the circle stop real hard and make a decision on which cases to prosecute for structural stops. So if that's a policy that you think should be supported, you're going to make sure that whoever the next safety attorney is going to buy into that policy. Maybe the safety attorney can say something.
All right, now based off what you just said, right, I just got a question that me and my boys, we had a little controversy, like, you can't do that, you can't do that. So, in the event that we get pulled over, right, and the cop says, hey, they find some, like, random reason to say, hey, I want to check your car. Can we decline or no?
You absolutely have the right to decline. But depending on who the officer is, depending on who you are, it could escalate and bad things could happen sometimes.
So
but you have the right to decline. I decline or I refuse to give you permission to search my car. I didn't do anything wrong. That's all you have to say. And hope it goes well after that.
Y'all hear that, right? This is information for all of us. Look, y'all, we black and brown riding around in these communities, and we are commonly attacked by these problems. So make sure y'all listen up and paying attention from the people that's in position to make these decisions, all right?
So I would say that oftentimes, later on, a charge will be lodged against an individual or someone in the car. And oftentimes, there's body-worn video,
that provides a narrative of what happened. I urge people, even though you are right to decline, do it respectfully. Because we are adults, and you can say, no, I do not give you permission to search my motor vehicle.
I just want to add, so legally, and I'm not giving anybody legal advice or all the way, so I'm not giving anybody legal advice, but if they feel that they have probable cause, then, and if it's something in, like, if they see something in plain view, or they feel that there is a safety issue, something in your immediate reach. But the point is, make it clear for the record that you are not consenting to the search. And I guess that's a part of what I was saying as far as if something goes wrong, then you can report it, code will look into it. If you're charged with anything.
No, absolutely, because the officer may say, well, I don't need your permission, I have probable cause. Do not do this. Just make it clear for the record that you are respectfully declining your permission to search.
And as a proud Southsider, you go to church in Southside? All right, I'll take it. One of the things I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm giving my personal experience. You know, these things do happen. I have been pulled over as a prosecutor. I've been pulled over not as a prosecutor. And the things we have to look at is, I always say this as we do with my own children. You do want to go home. Think about that. When I get pulled over at my age, I want to go home to you. And I say to myself, what do I have to say